Cool.
Okay, now we're live.
We're live.
Live.
Great.
Okay, so hello everyone who is joining us. We are live on Women Who Lift Israel with our special guest today, Beatie Deutsch. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and joining us, Beatie.
Thanks for having me.
So to intro everyone, first of all, my name is Sarah Iluz. I am one of the co-founders of Women Who Lift Israel. We are a women's only Facebook community focused on empowering other women through strength training. We started these live interviews here on Women Who Lift Israel because we wanted to be able to give all of the wonderful women in our community plenty of inspiration, motivation, advice, and tips from amazing female athletes. And Beatie, we are so honored for you to join us this evening. For those of you who don't know Beatie, she is one of the most inspiring athletes in our community and in our country. She's not only an elite runner currently chasing the Olympic dream, but she's the current Israeli marathon and half marathon champion, and really has only started to compete a few years ago. You're a true rising star. And above all, she does this while being first and foremost a religious mama of 5 beautiful children, putting her faith in Hashem and care of her family as her top priority in life before all her athletic goals. So thank you so much for joining us, Beatie, again. I remember the first time I ever heard about you. We were on a, Shabbat, like after Shabbat lunch, just chilling in, our salon. And my husband goes, "Whoa!" He was reading some type of magazine he got from, Shul with, all the Dvar Torah and everything. And then he saw like a article about you and your time. And my husband's a marathon runner, so he knows his stuff. And he just, whoa! Where did you come from? And that's the first time I ever heard about you. And since then, we've been hooked. I've been following you on Instagram, and I really wanted, our community to hear from you and learn from you. So let's start with our interview. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and where you are from and when did you make Aliyah?
Yep. I grew up mostly in New Jersey. And I made Aliyah in 2009. When I came to Israel for seminary, I was like pretty convinced I was going to stay. And the year after that, I was a madricha in another seminary, like a dorm counselor. And then I met my husband that year and we got married. And I said, we're staying in Israel. So I made Aliyah from Israel. Oh. And we have been here since, except for 2 years where we lived in Tucson, Arizona. And we worked on a college campus for 2 years. And I did not ever really expect my life to go this way. But knowing myself, it does make sense. Like now I see it all coming together and I feel like it's a great fit. But I originally actually studied school counseling and I worked and I was working for a big Jewish organization helping a large Jewish nonprofit helping students come to Israel and learn about Jewish educational programs. And I just, started running 5 years ago because I was tired of being out of shape. And I had 4 kids in 6 years at the time. And I hadn't moved and I was really feeling it. And I was always a naturally athletic person and I enjoy sports. So it hit me hard that I came in dead last in a 100-meter sprint on the beach with my siblings. And I was huffing and puffing and I couldn't breathe after running 100 meters. So I knew I had to do something. So I set the goal of running a marathon and the rest is history. No,
who does that from not being able to run 100 meters, to setting a marathon goal? It's amazing.
Yeah. What's funny now is to be able to, at the time, everything I was doing was I was doing it because I wanted to do it. And I never imagined that it would take me to where I never pictured myself speaking about my story or being a, national champion or being a professional athlete. It was just yeah, I fell in love with running right away. And I saw the power of what happens when you put in consistent work. And it's kind of like, it's addicting. It feels good to see yourself make progress. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it right away.
Amazing. And what was young Beatie like? You said you were always athletic.
Yeah, I had a ton of
How was
energy.
young Beatie like?
People call me, I'm known sometimes as Speedy Beatie, and my friends used to call me that because I loved to, when we'd play ball games, I'd always be the girl who like ran after the ball to get the ball. And I could play basketball. I'm very short. I'm not actually great at shooting, but I was a really good, like, I would always grab the ball, run across the court, and put in the layup. Or like if someone stole the ball, I'd be on defense right away. I was like the fast one on the court. So I always had tons of energy, was always moving, loved adventure, crazy. Like I joke now that like running is my way of, when you run hard, you get to push yourself to the limit. You get to find your edge. And like, it's my safe way of testing the limits. Like if I didn't have kids, I'd be doing I was doing crazy things. I was constantly seeking that like adrenaline rush, energy, like push myself to the edge. Like my mom was like scared of like, what was I going to do next, you know?
Amazing.
But I did not think that like, you know, now I'm in the professional running world, and like I've learned so much as I get more into it. And it's not anything I knew about. I didn't think growing up, like, and you look at the path that most professional runners take, they've been running since high school. In college, they're running, you know, in America especially, it's like a whole system, and they go to the right school and they do all that. Like, I didn't even know about any of that. So it's nothing, none of this was even on my mind. It never occurred to me that you could be a religious woman and also have a career in sports, you know? That's what's very
so
wild.
Incredible about you. I think that's so incredible about you. You inspire so many people like us that, you know, never thought it could be like possible at all as a religious woman to even dream of that. So it's amazing. How did it happen? How were you able to go from not running at all for all those years to running a full marathon and then winning the Tiberias Marathon with an incredible time?
So the thing that I think is very powerful about running, I would say when I ran my first marathon, the one thing I came away with, I felt like anyone can run a marathon. And I truly believe that anyone can do it if you put in the work and the training. Like you can't show up to a marathon without training for it. But if you are consistent, if you run 4 times a week, if you build up your mileage, your body can do it. It's just a matter of putting in the work. Obviously, to get to the next level of speed and stamina and endurance takes a lot of work. But also at this, I recognize 100%, and I say this all the time, like Hashem gave me a gift of speed. It's not something I take for granted. I think a lot of times when you're in athletics, you work really hard. So you're always, you know, you can easily think, oh, I worked so hard and that's why I had those results. And yes, you need to work 100% hard, but that's what we have to do. We have to put in our hishtadlut. We have to make the efforts. But at the end of the day, to me, it's so clear, like all my speed, anytime I win a race, it's all from God. Like he gave it to me. I wouldn't accomplish anything without the fact that he gave me this gift. And we all have our own gifts and we have to utilize them. Like we have to work with them, but we have to recognize that everything we accomplish is only because Hashem allowed us to achieve that success. So I would say to going from not running at all to the marathon, the key was taking a huge goal and breaking it down into baby steps and having a training plan and then letting myself progress each week. And then once I got into the running, I didn't run the Tiberias marathon time of 2:42 until my 4th marathon. And I wasn't even in any pressure even. Like I just enjoyed the process. I myself wasn't really aware of what I even could achieve. So it was kind of just like I was going with the flow. And I only got serious that training cycle before Tiberias. I joined a group with a coach. And that's when I started to see the biggest progress because I was actually training in a very structured way with real interval workouts. and I had training partners. So those make a big difference. Having a coach, having a group to train with, building up with proper structure, and learning how to push your body to the limit, but also recovering to get the maximum benefit.
And you're also known as the marathon mother, and you're a proud mama of 5 beautiful children. So we want to know your secret. How do you manage it all? I know you're working also full time, chasing now the Olympic dream.
Well,
do you have any advice?
I don't work full time now. My work is to be an athlete. I'm very blessed in that sense. There was a period where I was working full time. I was training pretty seriously, and I had my kids, and I don't really know how I did it other than the fact that I truly believe whatever you want, like 𝗕𝗲𝘁𝗶𝗲 𝗗𝗲𝘁𝗀𝗂𝘁. If there's something you want badly enough, you will find a way to make it happen. And to me, that's about setting clear priorities and being very focused on the things that matter to you. And if you have to build your schedule around those, like, when I was doing that, I'd wake up every morning, run at 5. I had one night a week where my husband did supper and bedtime, and I went to join the group workout. I scheduled Friday mornings or my long run, and I tried to prepare Shabbat the day before so I wasn't hectic, So you can make anything's possible. You just have to want it badly enough to find that way. Right now, I think, I'm very blessed. Being an athlete, you can't run all day. So you have a lot of downtime. So I have more time for my family than I had before. And I definitely think that it's harder for me as a professional runner with 5 kids than your average professional runner. But at the same time, I'm so busy with my family that if I have a bad workout, I barely think about it. I just move on to the next thing. I'm not sitting and stressing and obsessing over running. And when I show up to work, I'm fully present because I'm so happy to be there. It's this is my time, and I make the most of it.
You're focused, yeah.
I think every sort of limiting factor or excuse that we have could also actually be an asset and something that we can find strength in. It's just a matter of how you phrase it.
Amazing. And what is the goal you achieved that you're the most proud of so far, and why? Athletic goal.
So I think I'm the most proud of my 2:32 marathon that I ran before Corona hit. I think so. I've had every race is a special experience, but that race was it was almost like a crazy leap of faith. I had run 3 weeks before a 1:15 half marathon, and I knew I needed to run a 2:32 to hit a certain qualifying ranking system. And if I didn't run 2:32:39, I was not hitting it. And it was a really big, it's in my head, it seemed almost crazy. How was I going to run a marathon, which is double the distance of the half marathon, and only take 2 minutes longer? I finished that half marathon feeling pretty beat. And then the cool thing was every race, my goal is always to know that I crossed the finish line getting the most out of myself. I gave it my all. I didn't leave 1 second on the course. And it's always hard because sometimes when things get tough, in a certain sense, you give up a little bit and you let go of pushing because it's so hard. And as someone I'm pretty in tune with myself mentally. So a lot of times I'll question, did I check out, or was my body really at its limit? And that race in 𝗕𝗲𝘁𝗶𝗲, the last 3 kilometers were the hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
I felt when I crossed the finish line, it was I had not given up on 1 second. And I ran the 2:32:25. And it was just an amazing, as bad as I felt, because it was hard, it was an amazing feeling knowing that I had got everything out of myself. Because what do we want in life? We want to know that we gave it our all. We want to know that we reached the best possible version of ourselves, And obviously we could always continue growing, but that feeling right then wasn't pretty amazing.
Sounds like it was amazing. And your time for the half marathon is crazy. I just ran my first half marathon end of January 31st. And it took me 3 hours. So you did it in a third of the time. But,
Well, I think
so
that just means you have a lot of room to improve, a lot of room to
yeah.
make you get to see all the progress.
Yeah, the way you're describing it makes me want to try it again. I swore to myself I would never do this again. It was so long, but now I just feel like trying again. You motivate.
There's something actually amazing about running long. Like part of halfway through, you're cursing yourself out. Why am I doing this? But at the end, you feel so good.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
The last 3 kilometers, I suddenly had so much strength. I was like, I was dying like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I've learned to tell myself it's actually always happens. I run every week a really long, it's called like either a fartlek or like a tempo run. It can be like this week I'm going to be running 18 kilometers like hard. And in the middle, I'll always have like, it's like a midlife crisis, like a mid-run crisis where I'm like, I can't. I'm like, feel like I'm not going to breathe. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to finish this. I might as well just quit right now. Like I'm telling my coach, I'm done for the day. This is too much. And it happens to me every time that I already know that I just tell myself like, who are you kidding, Beatie? Like at the end, you're always flying. Like don't underestimate what your body can handle. Like you have so much more strength than you even know. And I think that's true about all of us. So often we're like, when it gets hard, we're quick to like, feel like we can't do it. But if we remind ourselves that really our body can handle so much more than we realize, there's going to be reservoirs of strength in there that we didn't know about. At the end, we're going to surprise ourselves. So I can like usually talk myself out of those mid-run crises that way.
Amazing. You have experience dealing with those.
Yes.
Okay, so you call yourself an ambassador of Hashem. I love that. And I've seen this in your stories and you're so addictive. Can you talk about, how your emunah has helped you in your athletic journey? And if you have any advice for our kitty, like basic include Hashem in your fitness goals.
Yeah, I find that running is such an incredible time to connect with Hashem. Like to me, it's a very meditative experience. You could be alone with yourself. You can just talk to God freely. I have so many conversations with Hashem during races. And ultimately, like when you're running, you're really in touch with your body. And the more you think about it, it's like every step you take is just a miracle. We are walking miracles. When you're running, you're using every single part of your body, really. That's the cool thing about the sport, as opposed to some other endurance sports. Like you don't get to use every part of your body, but every single part of your body needs to be working in harmony for you to get, to be able to run that way. And that always reminds me just like, wow, God, thank you for giving me this miraculous gift. And I for sure I think that having emunah is really an advantage. Like, because when I show up at a race, I'm relaxed. I don't have anything to worry about. I just feel like, first of all, I know Hashem has a plan for me, but then I can always say like, whatever, he's going to take care of me. When I'm tired, he's going to carry me. And yeah, I'm like running on my faith. I think that developing emunah is like working out any other muscle. I always say this, like anyone who lifts, you can see the process of building muscle so clearly. And the way that you build those muscles is by applying resistance and then having to work against it. And slowly but surely, your body builds back and becomes stronger and you can handle more and more. And I think with emunah, we go through in life, we go through certain experiences, the resistance, the difficult moments, and we learn to understand and accept. In the beginning, when you say like, okay, this is from God, I have to accept it. It might not feel so natural. It might be hard. It's going to feel so heavy. You're not going to be able to lift it. You're not going to be able to handle it. But the more we learn to, we learn to, just use those phrases, remind ourselves, Hashem's running the show. He's in charge. He has a plan for me. He's guiding me every step of the way. He's holding my hand. It almost becomes second nature. It's so natural to say it. I have seen myself. I wasn't always a person that, I loved the concept of emunah, but could I say that I really felt it all the time? I used to get really like stressed out when things didn't work out the way I wanted. I remember missing buses would like push me over the edge. If if plans fell apart, like it was, I had such a hard time letting go. And that's my nature. Like I'm a type A plant. I want everything to work out the way I want. And over time, as I've learned to just recognize like God's in charge and he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what's best for me. And I can really say it 100%, believe it and know it. And it just comes off because that muscle's so strong. It's so ingrained. It's so natural. I don't have to flex it anymore. It's just there.
So you have
and I think we can all
we
can all build our emunah in our lives that way.
Do you have conversations like with Hashem during your runs when it's starting, to be hard or you want to quit? Is he also here to help you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Always before my last, I do an interval workout every Tuesday. It's like depends on the workout. It could be 7 sets, 10 sets, 8 sets, whatever. My coach has a rule. The last set can never be the slowest. But the last set is always when you're the most tired. But ideally, as a runner, you always want to start out. You want to run negative splits. So you want to run slightly slower in the beginning and get faster. A lot of times I'll be like dying by the last set and I'm thinking in my head like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to manage this one? I'm just like, Hashem, I'm trusting you. Like you are here for me now. Like this is your moment to shine. I'm just going to run and you're going to carry me. And it works. I pretty much, I just feel like he's the one who gave me this strength, and he could do anything. And the truth is like, I really connect with the idea that we all have a piece of God within us. God's infinite. And if we recognize that, we're connected to infinity. Like there's no limit to what we could achieve. But again, I think that the first step is really one thing I always say is like, I didn't just, I don't just say these things. It's like, I asked all the questions. I looked into understanding and how do I know there's a God? How do I know this is true? Like for me, that's a basic. And once you know, like, yeah, there's God, this is true. Then you can say all that. I recognize like some people might still be struggling with the God question, might still be struggling with the truth of Judy, all of that. And I think it's important to work through those things first, like to have emunah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what does your typical run look like? Is there a variety to your training schedule, or do you usually have a set daily routine? I think you touched this a little bit, that it varies a lot from day to day.
I have a set weekly routine, so it's pretty standard every week. I run when I'm training for marathons, which is now. I'll run around 150 to 160 kilometers a week. And that's broken up into a long run on Sunday, a easier recovery run on Monday. I'll usually do 2 runs on Monday, a workout on Tuesday, track workout, so shorter repeats, 2 easy runs on Wednesday, a longer workout on Thursday, and a medium long run on Friday. And then on Motzei Shabbat, I run a very short run on the treadmill, usually.
And when you say long run or short run, what are the distances that we're talking about?
So for marathon training, the long runs are like between 32 and 38 kilometers.
Wow.
I just ran 39 actually on Sunday.
Wow.
And my easy, people laugh, but my easy runs are like 18 kilometers.
What?
I run a lot. Like that's what people don't like. I'm running a lot.
Wow, it's really a full-time job, actually.
Yeah, like someone commented on one of my runs today, like, I don't know, how do you do it with your raising your kids? Like, how do you have time to do this? I'm like, well, actually, this is my job. Like, this is what I do. I run. And then I also strength train 3 times a week, and I also cross train. Like, I swim or do easy biking to keep up like aerobic fitness. So it's definitely a lot of exercise, but I really like it. So I'm lucky.
Yeah. So you touched a little bit on my next question. We know that you include some strength training in your routine to complement your running. So what does your strength training routine look like? How does it complement the running goals? How does it help with what you're trying to achieve?
Yes, strength training is so important for runners. When I first started running, I didn't know anything about that. I'm very lucky that I didn't get injured. I do I would say that I have a naturally very strong body. Baruch Hashem. Again,
Baruch
everything.
Hashem.
Like I go to get massage every week. The guy always tells me like, yeah, your body is just very strong. But I've seen over time, strength training is essential for, there's so many, in order to run with proper form and efficient form and avoid injury, you need to make sure you're activating different parts of your body, your glutes, your hamstrings, and all of those things. If they're not strong enough, then you're going to be, first of all, definitely not have as much speed and proper form, but then also you're much more injury prone and little things can crop up all the time. Even as someone who strength trains regularly, I still find areas that I have to work on, like weaknesses within myself, because there is just, it's crazy. And I continuously reveal new muscles or new areas that I didn't even know about. So your body's complex, and strength training allows you to work on all the different parts. And even as a runner, I do arms, I do upper body. You're using your arms. You're actually using your neck even. So you want all the parts of your body to be strong. And then I do a lot of, this was my first day back at the gym since like August, right? Because the gyms were closed. It was so exciting because I haven't been lifting with like real weight for like, the most I have in my house was like a 12-kilo kettlebell. So I got to go back to the gym and do squats and deadlifts and lunges and rows. Anything that you do in strength training, that's what I do. And I also do plyometrics. Like I'll add in plyometric exercises. That's really good for explosive power, for you want your fast cadence, for getting your feet off the ground quickly. You'll really benefit. And I follow a pretty basic structure. Usually it's 3 sets of every exercise, and I'll superset it with something else. And I have a trainer who.
Okay, a trainer.
Yeah, I have a trainer. She's really amazing. She actually offered to train me. Her name's Alyssa Sagaskin. She's the head coach of the women's football team, national women's football team. She reached out to me. I think it's been almost 2 years. We get along really well. I love working out with her. Amazing. And she's totally helped me build power and strength. And and my coach is always wary about me not doing too much. And she's good about keeping it. Like I do strength training on my hard days after I run hard workouts.
Wow.
Because I want my easy days to be easy, my hard days to be hard. So I want to do it all and then let my body recover. So it's also a little bit exhausting because my muscles are already tired, but in a way it's like kind of good because you learn to just like work off the fatigue and then on the days off, the easier days I can recover.
I noticed that you talked about upper body. I'm going to ask you this question. I just realized now it wasn't in the list of questions, but I noticed when I ran my half marathon that took 3 hours, like this motion made my arms hurt. At the end of the run, my arms were super stiff from just doing this the whole time. Any pro tips for avoiding that stiffness?
Well, you might not need to move your arms as vigorously as you were. It should feel natural. But then again, that's also working your shoulders and being able to have good posture. And so like rows and even some form of pull-ups, all planking. Plank is really good. It's keeping, all those things would help it feel like, I think, less pressure. But if your arms are, and also even during workouts, I will I use my arms, pump my arms when I need to get extra speed or whatever. But then in a downtime, I'll shake my arms out. So if you're feeling like your arms are getting stiff in the middle of running, then just let your arms loose and let them hang. Don't pick them up so much,
Yeah. I guess it's more useful when you're going up hills, but when you're on a flat surface or going down, could start loosening them up.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to move your arms too much. Actually, it's called vertical oscillation, how much your body's turning. That's kind of with turning, but you want to remain pretty consistent, in one motion. You don't want to be swinging too much because that's wasting energy actually. So that's something I hold my arms like up here, almost like loosely, like not really even touching my chest, like right there.
Okay, interesting. So we want to bring awareness on the benefits of being a strong woman, especially for mothers. What do you think are everyday health benefits of being a strong woman?
I think that as mothers, we use so many muscles in everyday tasks, like groceries, cleaning, like bending down, picking up kids, and you could be easily, raising kids requires a lot of energy, and you can be easily fatigued and even just like hurt yourself when you're not strong enough. And also, I think when you give birth, like your body, even just working on your pelvic floor muscles and your core, because every time you have a baby, it gets wrecked. And it's really like a quality of life thing. Like the more that the stronger I've become, the more it's enjoyable for me to do all these activities. I can feel my muscles working. It's really cool. And the more you work out your muscles, the more you become aware of them. Like you didn't even realize, oh, when I bend down and using my glutes or whatever, when I'm picking, like, I say that you can do strength training with like all the activities you do in your house,
Yeah.
Like I'm lying on my bed. Even when I'm lying in bed reading books to my kids, I sometimes do leg lifts. When I'm standing washing dishes, I practice standing on one foot. Bend, you do lunges while picking up toys or squats. All kinds of, it's very,
really an overachiever.
It's just easy. When I didn't work out in the gym, I didn't have time to go to the gym when I was training for my first real serious marathon, the 𝗕𝗲𝘁𝗶𝗲 one. I never went to the gym. And yeah, I did some basic strength training while I was with my kids. And I get them involved. My son is my weight. I always do squats with him on my shoulders, and my daughters also. They like it.
One example I like to use is last year we went to visit Jerusalem, and we were walking all around. We walked from the 𝗕𝗲𝘁𝗶𝗲 to Yaffo, and at some point my son was exhausted, and we still had like 1.5 kilometers to walk all the way to the car. And all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'll put you on my back. Like that was after like 2 years of me already starting strength training. I was like, let's see if I can carry him to the car. And I was carrying my son. He was 25 kilos about for 1.5 kilometers, and it was easy. Like I did not feel like.
Right, exactly.
No, it was amazing. It's an amazing, empowering feeling.
Yes, I think it's important. And I think also people don't realize how much the like mental benefits of exercise. Like I mean, definitely from running, but you get like serious endorphins. And I think from lifting also, like you need that as a mother. You need to recharge yourself. You need to feel good. You need to feel energized. And I think exercise and becoming stronger really helps you do that.
Yeah. Just this week, I have an example at work. Really, I had this client that was like so mad at our company and I knew I had to like, talk to him, and I was like delaying that client calls like the whole week. And then one day I went to the gym, lifted some iron, and the hour after that, I was like, bring it on. I'm going to call this.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. I totally know that feeling, really.
I'm going to do this now. And it ended up being like such a productive call. I was so confident. Like I achieved like in 1 hour what I was scared to do for like 3 days. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that as a strategy. Like next time, like I know like I need to lift weights before doing something scary.
Yeah, when I can have like some things really bugging me out, be in a bad mood, feeling down, and like come back from a run and my whole head is clear and I'm just like, oh my gosh, wow. Like I didn't know, like all of a sudden I feel so much better at everything. Nothing changed except me.
Amazing. And every time we see you, you have like a huge smile on your face, especially during or after a run. I see you in your stories in nature. Like your positivity is contagious. And how do you stay so positive all the time, despite all the challenges in life?
Well, I'm definitely not positive all the time. That's the beauty of social media. You can choose what to show. But I am naturally, you can ask my kids, Mommy, am I positive all the time? They will say, no, Mommy is not smiling all the time. But I am naturally a very optimistic person. That's just my nature. I have a hard time seeing the bad. Like, I just don't like being pessimistic. I don't believe in getting down. And I think I think that the more you become a person who seeks out gratitude and seeing the good and focusing on the positive, it changes you. You feel much better. You automatically feel the benefits. You are able to share that with others. Other people feel like it's tangible. Like you said, it's contagious. Other people respond positively, and it becomes easier. It's like, it all of a sudden, it's like what you're gravitating towards and what you consistently do. It's this contagious cycle, and it spills over into every aspect of your life. And I think that we perform our best when we're coming from a place of joy and relaxed and happy. And, it only takes a little bit. Once you start opening your eyes to it, it's so easy to find and notice, to like be appreciative of the simplest, smallest things. And that's like, to me, it's like, it starts with gratitude. And that is what allows you to be so happy and positive. When you don't take anything for granted, and you realize that really everything's a gift, like, how can you not be happy, It's
amazing. So I would love to give you the opportunity to talk directly to our members about, anything that is important to you, maybe something we haven't mentioned or covered. Is there anything you would like to share with our community?
I feel like I shared a lot. I'm always that. I think that I think sometimes we're today with social media, we see so much. We're very caught up on what's going on in people's lives, and we see everyone doing great things, and it's very easy to get caught up in a certain comparison game, or watching people do some amazing things and feeling discouraged about ourselves. And one thing that I feel like consistently, people get very excited about, oh my gosh, you're so famous, or what's it like to be a celebrity, and I'm like, I don't even know what people see in being famous. To me, there's nothing I'm the same person I was before as I am now, and everything I'm doing is because I want to do it. It's because it's for me. It's because I love it. It's because I want to see myself improve, because I want to find out what are my limits. I want to become the best version of myself. And my message is just for you to be focused on your journey and doing what's best for you. And that takes a lot of inner strength and a lot of self-awareness and a lot of authenticity and a lot of listening to yourself and not getting caught up in all the noise around you. And that doesn't mean you can't be on social media and that you can't be super supportive of other people. It just means you have to be really cognizant of your voice and what's best for you. And when you listen to your heart and you focus on your own journey, you're really gonna achieve what you like, the best things for yourself, and you're going to be the happiest. And I think that's the real secret in life. And I always say, you do you. Don't think about what anyone else is doing, for real.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up on that on social media, to compare your progress with other people, to compare, different things, where I think you should take more social media as a way to like motivate yourself, by, I don't know, like motivate yourself to get inspired by other people. But like you said, you are against you, and improve yourself, focus on yourself and not other people's results.
Right.
Definitely. We have some questions from the community. This question from Beatie Deutsch. What brands of running shirts have you tried, and which do you find to be the lightest and best for running?
I've tried a lot of them. And I also made my own running skirt. I'm a big fan of mine that I made. I took a men's dry fit t-shirt from Nike, and I just went and I bought an elastic band. I just went to a tailor and made the skirt. You can make it however length you like. And it's really comfortable. The material is perfect. And it fits me perfectly. So I love that for my races. It might not be, it's not like super stylish, but it's really functional. It's very light. I like the Transcendent Active skirt. It's really light. It's a dry fit type of material. It's also made from like, she's very sustainable. The fit is really nice. It looks really cute. I like that one. I just tried one from B7 Active. Also found impressively light. Like I didn't feel it at all. I didn't even have to wear leggings under it. It's very, the cut, I'm very small. So it was like a drop large on me, but some people might find it better because it covers your knee really well. It doesn't come with leggings attached, so you can wear whatever leggings you like. I wear the kosher casual skirts for a long time. They're also pretty light. They're made from a lycra material as opposed to dry fit. So some people might not like that as much because it doesn't like absorb the sweat as much. In the summer, you'll definitely be feeling the wet, but they're good for swimming. That's my take on the like lightest and like most comfortable skirt. Like I like there's a few other companies that make nice running skirts and that are cute. And I wear them and for easy runs, but like I wouldn't wear them racing. So those were like the top light and really light and good for running.
What about running shoes? What is the brand you use?
I currently I'm not really sponsored by Nike, but I'm like a Nike athlete, which means I get a couple packages of shoes a year. So I wear Nike shoes. They also fit my feet really well. They also make, I would say, in terms of if you're racing competitively, they have probably the best carbon plated shoe on the market. Although every other shoe company has now come out with their own version. I might be working with Adidas. I have to try out their stuff because I've never worn Adidas before. But it really, every shoe company has models for all the types of shoes. If you need lightweight, if you need supportive, if you need neutral, you can find it all in every shoe company. I've worn Asics for a while and was happy. And then I wear a Saucony. I've worn a Saucony and like them also. It really depends. I think it's pretty easy to find running shoes that will make your feet happy. Just don't wear non-running shoe sneakers. I did that in the beginning and that was a bad move.
Got it. Question from Karanit. Sometimes when running, I have difficulty getting into the zone. That is not thinking about anything and just running. Do you always actively think about things when you're running, or do you also go into the zone? Is there a preferred method for you?
Yeah, this is such an interesting question. I think there's a difference between easy running and workout running. When I'm easy running, I don't care. Whatever comes up in my brain is fine. It's like so relaxed. It's like having a conversation. I don't need to worry about anything. If I want to think about something, I will. If I don't want to, I also just tune out. I listen a lot of times when I'm running easy. I listen to like a sheer or I sometimes listen to music. Sometimes I just want to be quiet. When I'm working out, in general, in the beginning, I use a lot of like tactics to keep myself relaxed. Like I do a lot of visualizations on the run, and I'm doing everything I can to stay as relaxed as possible. So in some way, I am actively like controlling what goes on in my head. At the same time, sometimes I think that you can actually, when you get into that zone and just run without thinking. My coach is always like, stop thinking, just run. Because I always tell the guys, I'm like, guys, I just could write like 5 pages of everything that went on in my head through the workout. And they're always like, yeah, you do on your Insta stories. They're laughing at me. I'm like, what are you guys thinking about? And they're like, we're not thinking about anything. And my coach is like, just stop thinking. So sometimes, yeah, I can get into the zone. I just tell myself like, okay, just let your body run. Like just find that edge. But it doesn't always happen automatically. And I definitely get what you're saying about not always being able to find the zone. And you should just know some days are going to, I think one of the things you have to remember is like some days are not going to feel as good as others. Doesn't mean you shouldn't run those days. It means that you get stronger from learning to push through the days that you didn't feel as great, you know? And then hopefully on race day, when things get, you know, you'll have a good day. And even when things get a little bit hard, you'll have the strength to work through it.
Okay. What is your nutrition like? How do you fuel yourself before and after your run?
I think this is everyone's favorite question. I have a like sensitive stomach. I don't like to eat before I run. Some people might be like, how do you do that? I can run for a long time without eating. I just can. My body's used to it. I eat a lot the day before. So by the morning, I'm full. Sometimes I'll take, like, if I have an hour before my run, I'll try and have a little bit of oatmeal, like before a race, so that I'm extra like stocked. But honestly, I don't know. I feel better without eating. If I'm doing an easy run, the truth is and I have time in the morning, I'll eat I tend to eat like, it's good to have simple carbohydrates before you run. Some people like to have like a gel. I really don't like gels. I've been experimenting with different fluids that are like, you know, liquid carbohydrates. And I just found something that was working really well. It's made by Scratch, which I don't think they sell in Israel yet, but they have this awesome formula. It has like a lot of calories for the drink. So it's really good for marathon training. And it digests slowly. And I found it very easy on my stomach. So I like that drink, but you can find similar type of fluids, like a powder that you put in your water that will give you carbohydrate during your run. If you're doing long runs, it's good. You need to have some source of carbohydrates on your runs to get your maximum performance. After working out, I like to have a protein shake and also more carbohydrate type of thing. I mean, depends what it is. Like if sometimes I don't get home till like it's already lunch. So I find when I'm doing like a long run, I really like afterwards, I always want like a salad and a protein. Cause like I've had a lot of sugary like drink on the run. And then I want to I crave like the salt and the like green vegetables. I'm gluten-free because I have celiac disease. So that just means like, I really don't eat a lot of bread. I never was into bread. Don't really like bread so much. So I'm not doing the toast things, but I eat a ton of oatmeal, oat bars. I make myself like oatmeal bars. And I like nuts and type of things like that. And I'm a big salad eater. Salad is not the ideal way to fuel yourself for running, just so you should know, actually.
Do you carry like food like while you're running? You have water bottle holders or something? Like how do you bring
I only need to have some fuel when I'm doing a long run, and my coach comes with me, so he gives me the bottle. Because when you're an elite runner, they have they have tables with bottles for you. So I just need to practice like grabbing my bottle and drinking on the run. So he brings the bottle, and that's what I drink. I used to carry gels when I would run sometimes. And then I knew in Yerushalayim where all the water fountains were. I am not a big fan of carrying water. But again, don't listen to me necessarily. I can run in the Beit Shemesh heat with like no water for 2 hours. But most people wouldn't do that.
My husband eats these little jelly beans that are supposed to be for running.
Yeah, someone just sent me a bunch of them. They're really like, they're also good because they don't like, they're easy to take in. I'm not very, but I wanted to get, I felt like I need something where I'm getting like fluids also because I want to make sure. So the drink I found is working pretty well.
Awesome.
We'll see.
What kind of shiurim do you listen to? I have thought about it, but if I space out in the middle, it's hard to rewind, etc.
I have listened to so many shiurim running. It's amazing. I finished like like a huge series of parenting classes on my runs. Like it was like 100 classes. I just would knock them off every time I ran. And it totally is absorbed in my head. I think if it's on your phone, you could always easily go back. Like it's just a little bar. You just go back if you spaced out. Sometimes I listen to it again if I wasn't sure that I caught it all. I listened to like the Dina Friedman parenting series. I listened to like 3 or 4 series from Rabbi Kellerman. He's my Rav, and I'm part of his like membership program. So I have like I listened about to his chinuch class, from his classes from Rav Wolbe. He did a whole class on personal growth. I'm now listening to one about perspective and das. I listen, and every time before a holiday, I listen to something related to the holiday. I listen to Rabbitzin Yemima Mizrahi. She's very easy to follow while you're running. No, it's very easy. Shira Smiles. You can find every class online for free. Is amazing. And yeah, you can just, pause if you need to, go back. Sometimes I'm like listening and like, if I find like, okay, I just don't want to listen to anything anymore. So I'll just turn it off and run without anything, I don't even bring headphones now because I run on this like trail where no one is. So I just carry my phone and it's going out.
Wow.
And I don't really mind. I don't even,
And do you have any podcasts you listen to?
I don't listen to podcasts when I'm running. I listen to podcasts when I'm driving. I have a thing. I listen to loads of running podcasts, like all of them. But I like to listen to them because I drive to Jerusalem to train. So like it motivates me while I'm driving to the workout at like 5:30 in the morning. I get a good podcast. Wow. But I cannot, for some reason, I just don't want to listen to them when I run.
So witty answer, maybe I'll give it a try. Listen to podcasts a lot. So she'll try shiurim.
Yeah, there's so much out there. I always feel like it's amazing because like when you run, you're working on your physical, like it's physical exercise, but then I get to do the spiritual at the same time. So I come back so like rejuvenated because I got all my workouts in,
Awesome. Another one from Witty. As she is also now a cyclist, what similarities do you find between training cycling and running, and what things are different between them? What were your greatest surprises in starting cycling, coming from a running background?
I haven't been biking on the road so much since like getting my mileage up high because like I just don't have the time and I'm so tired by the time I finish. But no, I did get into cycling. I think something people don't realize when you're the ideal way to run like is high cadence. You want to keep picking your legs up, and it's almost like a bicycle, which is constantly your wheels are constantly spinning. So when you're running, you want your legs constantly being picking up off the ground and going forward, that forward motion. It's almost this, actually one of the drills we do is like cycling. It's like bringing your leg up and back. So that's a very big similarity. And when you run, if you want to work on, when you're riding, even I ride at home on my bike at home on a trainer. I just work on high cadence. And I think like just the endurance concept, there's like a lot of differences in terms of when you cycle, you literally only use one body part and there's no impact as opposed to running where like you feel it, like your muscles are going to feel tired because you're pounding the pavement. I think the most surprising thing when I started cycling was like how bad you could get yourself to burn. If you go, I went up some serious hills and I went up pretty hard, and like that cycle burn is intense. Like you can work out, you can get a really good intense burn. And I almost felt like I can run hard for a long time, and I know how to like pace my like have my threshold pace and keep it for an hour, 2 hours. I didn't know how to have that threshold pace for that long on a bike, but it's obviously something you train and get better at.
Cool. I can see the next question. Yeah. Little known fact, Beatie earned a black belt in Taekwondo back in the day. Really?
Yes.
Is there anything from that training that has carried over to running and other sports?
It's so funny. It was like a different world back then. So like I never really, I think I was not even aware of all the like mental work that I've done now as a runner. It didn't occur to me. It was just, you know, I like I've said, I always liked working hard, and I like getting out my energy. I think just the concept of discipline. One of my teacher was my Taekwondo teacher very much emphasized discipline. And I think as a runner, the biggest thing I learned in the beginning is like discipline is greatness. And if you can be conservative in the beginning of your run and not start out too fast, you'll be rewarded with being able to finish strong. And I ran my first marathon exactly that way. I held back the entire first half of the marathon. And in the last, 8 kilometers, I was passing every single runner. And I was a new runner, brand new, it was my first marathon after 4 months of training. But it was because I was really disciplined, and I made sure to listen and hold back. And I think that was something like, I learned hard work and discipline from Taekwondo.
I didn't even ask you to talk a little bit about the marathon you ran while being super pregnant. I don't remember which week you were. How is that? And do you have any advice for women that are, already runners and think they need to stop running when they get pregnant? Like, how does running work with pregnancy?
Yeah, my dad's actually an OB/GYN and infertility specialist. So when I was pregnant, he told me, like, as long as you're not introducing something new to your body, it's fine. So my body was very comfortable with running. And some people get very excited about knowing your heart rate. I didn't track my heart rate. I didn't worry about that. I even ran interval workouts while I was pregnant. I ran the marathon 7 months pregnant.
Wow.
I think, honestly, like, people are always go crazy about that. I really felt fine. The only thing that was really hard for me is that I had some kind of either stress fracture or plantar fasciitis in my foot. Every time I took a step, it felt like a nail was going through my foot. That was really
wow.
Otherwise, running the marathon was great. Like, I ran a half marathon in 8 months, and I ran till the day I gave birth. And I say it all the time, like, it was my best pregnancy, it was my best delivery, it was my best recovery, and it was my 5th child. So I felt so good. Like, I just felt so energized, and like my body felt strong. And when I gave birth, it was like so smooth, and all my muscles had been like toned and were ready for it. So I feel like exercise during pregnancy is so, so important. And do what you love. If you don't like running, like some people you might not be able to run till the end of your pregnancy, but do it for as long as you can and feel good.
Awesome. So I don't know if we have any other questions, but we're running out of time. So I do want to end the interview on a positive note. So give us a few last words of inspiration from your heart. What is your motto in life and why?
My motto in life, I have lots of mottos.
Or just final words from the heart. Doesn't need
I just spoke about this last night, but like I say this a lot, belief propels us forward, fear holds us back. And it's funny how often we let, our fears, the fears of failure, the fears of not being good enough, the fears of, will I be successful? I'm not sure. Those fears hold us back from really achieving what we could. And even I recognize in myself, like I've been, I was on a comeback process because I had a minor injury, and every workout since coming back, I'd always be like, almost like concerned whether I was going to be able to finish the workout. And, it's been 10 weeks, and still every time I get to the second to last interval, in my head, I'm already telling myself like, oh, it's okay if you blow up on this set because you made it this far. Like, it's fine. You're already at the second to last interval. Like, even if you can't make this, it's fine. And I'm like almost laughing at myself. Like, why are you living in that fear? and stop having that fear is like get rid of the fears. Like you're already, just be confident. Like you've done it week after week after week. You don't have to worry about not making the workout anymore. And when you learn to like really fully believe in yourself and embrace yourself and confidently pursue the goals and be fearless in whatever it is you're pursuing, that is what allows you to like get to the next level of growth in your life, of achievement in your life, of truth in your life.
Oh, it's just so inspiring, Beatie. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was amazing. I'm sure our community is really appreciative. And yeah, we really look forward to see you in the Olympic stage.
God willing. There's a lot of steps to get there, but
yeah,
God willing, maybe one day I will
believe in you. Like you just
Thank
said,
you so much for having me.
It will happen.
Yes. Thank you for having me. And best of luck on your journey and major props for everything you're doing for women who lift in Israel and empowering women.
Amazing. Thank you, Beatie. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye.